Hello, Sagittarius. This is your January 15th to January 31st, 2017 read. For the main read, I am using the Morgan Greer Tarot. This is the back of them. And for the advice cards, I'm using the Magical Spell cards by Lucy Cavendish. Can you see the back? There we go. Just in case you were wondering. As usual, I've already shuffled the deck. Good. Okay. So this time we put them all out. That's good. Your overall... This is interesting. Now, this makes me feel like things aren't really changing much around you when we have the Death card reversed, but I'm kind of getting like there's a reluctance to change, maybe. A reluctance to move forward, or a reluctance to let something go. A reluctance to let something go. Okay, so that's where we're starting. Getting things to work out peacefully and just keeping things like status quo. I'm getting like keeping status quo. Okay, let's see where this goes, because I have to be honest with you, whether you're single or in a relationship, this is feeling a lot to deal with love. There's two cards making me feel that way, but we have three cup cards, which is the Two of Cups, the Ace of Cups, and the Eight of Cups, but actually four. There's also the Six of Cups down here too. Something about timing going on here too. Okay. Alright. When I'm looking at this, this is where we're starting. When I'm looking at this, the first thing that I noticed here was this kind of looks like a castle. It's not. I don't think it's really a castle in the background. It's like bushes and trees. But it looks to me, it looked kind of like a castle. I don't know if I can point it out. Can you see it? Right there. Probably can't see it with the glare. Anyway, to me it looks like you're trying to keep up some type of thought about what you feel family life, home life should be. What you feel like you want the situation to be ideally. And you're trying to head towards that, and you're trying not to overemphasize anything you don't like. Things that aren't going the way maybe they should be going, you're trying to not center on that thought too much. You're looking past it. And I feel like this is part of the trying to not change. You don't want things to change. So anything that's not going right, I feel like you're just not... You're aware of it, but you're just like, you know what, whatever, it's fine, things will be okay. That's kind of what I'm getting. And here's where we got the Two of Cups first coming in, which means, granted, it's a general read, so it doesn't have to mean a romantic relationship. I feel like for the majority of you it is, though, that you're getting along, and you're just trying to make things work out, and you're doing your best to help things work out. I feel like that's your goal at this point. I also feel like as things go forward, it's a little burdensome, because I feel like it's weighing on you and you're kind of feeling it, but you're also you're trying to look forward to the future, and you're just kind of like, you know what, it may be a little rough right now. This one's the looking forward to the future, and that's the burdened card there. The Page of Rods and the Seven of Swords. Like, you are a little burdened, but you're trying to you're looking at it like, I just need to get through this part. Things will get better. Things will move forward in a better direction. I just got to hold on. I just got to hold out. And something's going on around you with this other person. Again, for the majority of you, I do feel like this is a romantic thing. And if it's somebody you just met, I feel like you're trying to... It's like you're trying to keep a dating situation going, thinking it's going to flourish into something. And if you're already in a relationship... there's things going on that you don't like that you're just trying to overlook, and if you're feeling like if you just hold out, it'll be okay and things will work out in your favor in the long run. Either way, I feel like what's going on, this is the environment around you, and you got the moon, you got the Six of Cups, and you've got the Eight of Cups. Which I feel like this is actually working in your favor in the sense of like something isn't right in their court. Another person's side, something like they're just not being themselves. They're not seeing things in the right light. That's where we're starting with them. And I feel like they're like reviewing how things are with you, and that like they're thinking about how they match with you, how they feel when you're around, you know, how well they think the situation is going. Like they're remembering. I feel like the way you're going, you're reminding them of how good things can be, and then like they're moving on from whatever the bad thing, whatever it was that wasn't working the way it needed to. They're kind of like moving on from whatever the problem is. Now I'm curious if this is moving away from, because the way when I have it down in the reading, the person in the red hoodie here, robe, hoodie, I don't know what you want to call this thing, cape with the hood, they're going towards you when I have it laid down. They're kind of learning from the situation. They're valuing you more, and they're heading towards you. I do feel like your strength and the way you're handling the situation is getting you what you want. In the sense of like we have Aphrodite's love spell at the top here, which basically means the way you're handling the situation is bringing more love to you. You're seeing the very loving side of this person, and you're kind of praising that. It's working in your favor. It really is. You're not concentrating on the negative. You're concentrating on the positive, and you're bringing more of that about. So in this situation, this time it's working in your favor. This is also giving you more strength for the future. It's kind of like the Page of Rods is now moving into the Knight of Rods, and it's kind of like the upgrade. At the end of this time frame, at the end of the month, you're moving with more strength, and you're seeing that going the way you want it to be, especially with the Ace of Cups right above this, which means it's in your court. You got what you wanted, you concentrated on the good stuff, and you're feeling that love, and you're happy with it. And as we go out of this time frame, I feel like you're kind of like, you're feeling like, you know what, that's the way you wanted it to work out, and you did the right thing. And in your situation, you very well may have. Keep in mind, this is a general read, so you got to look at this at your situation. What you have to, at this point, I really feel like you're going to look back and be like, what was it that I overlooked or allowed myself to, you know, let be okay and just didn't over concentrate on it? Is that really acceptable? Because I feel like things are back in your court the way you want them to be at the end of the month. I also feel like at that point you're going to kind of look back on it on your own, and you're going to be like, all right, this is where it was, this is how I handled it, this is where I am now, and then you're going to look back and be like, was that acceptable? Like, was that acceptable? And you're going to kind of review the situation for that reason. And it's completely your business whether it is or not. I think what the reason this is coming in is because I feel like in some situations you really got to look hard and decide, like, what are you accepting? And has it happened before? Is it going to happen again? And that's kind of like where you are at the end of here. Like, do you feel like it's going to happen again? And if it does, what is that going to cost you? Or do you feel like it was a momentary lapse and it's just not in that person's normal character to do that, and you feel like because you handled it the way you did, it didn't destroy the relationship, it actually made it stronger, and you feel like you're going to be stronger going forward? This is the big thing with this card. You need to think of it on your level. What was it that you didn't like, that you just kind of like let it go to the side and you didn't over concentrate on? Because I feel like it was kind of painful in the beginning. It kind of bothered you. But you didn't want to center on it too much because you didn't want to get over upset about it, in your opinion. So at the end of the month, when you're reviewing it and thinking about it again, this card is basically saying, was that okay or was it not okay? Do you feel it's over? Do you feel it's going to happen again? Are you stronger because of it? Is the relationship stronger because of it? Or has it damaged it? Is it something that could happen again? It is just really not acceptable if it happens again. Maybe it wasn't really acceptable that happened the first time. With the general read, you really got to, especially with this card, you really got to reevaluate it. Evaluate it is probably a better word. For yourself and decide what is it that I accepted and was it acceptable? For for this one, I think that's good. The overall message here is that you don't want the situation to change, and the way you handle it, it doesn't change. It doesn't move on. Like, it doesn't end. I should put it that way. It doesn't end. You don't want the situation to end, and it doesn't, because you don't want it to. But again, like, it keeps coming through. Like, at the end, you really need to look at the situation. What happened? Would you, if this happened to somebody you loved, what would you tell them? Would this be acceptable to happen to someone else you love? What would you advise them to do? And why? Do you feel like the relationship is stronger now, or do you feel like it's just you're waiting for it to happen again and you're just okay right now? You really got to look at it from your own perspective, and that's the big thing here. Okay. I will say, with the environmental factors here, the person is going back in your court, like they're going back towards you, like they're responsive to what you want. But just because they're going the way you want them to now, I really feel like you need to look at motives in this situation, like what it was, and why do you believe they did what they did? Okay. So we're going to leave it at that, because I feel like I can't really... there's so many different angles. I feel like this is more about how it affects you and what you're willing to accept. It's not so much about them in the sense of, like, not concentrating on them as a person, about what you're willing to accept, concentrating on the situation and what the situation was, and if that's acceptable. That's more important going forward. Okay. All right, that's the read for the 15th to the 31st. If you'd like a direct read from me, go ahead and shoot me an email at jamesforastral@gmail.com. James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.